Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers, episode one. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, happy Father's Day, sir.
Yeah, happy Father's Day as well. I did forgot it was Father's Day till I woke up and I had text from my kids telling me Happy Father's Day and then wanting to know if I was going to see them tonight. So I guess I have commitments to go see them tonight.
Awesome, dude. Sounds fun. Yeah, same here, man. I'd forgotten it was Father's Day, and then you see it here, you see it there. The kids come up and they do their thing, and
Your
that's
kids
that, huh?
at that age, they're all excited about their gift they made you or something, right? So cool. Such an awesome age, I think.
Yeah. It's always good times, having little ones around. I dread the day that they grow up, and it's coming all too quickly.
Yeah, I'm there. It was over in a snap. It was weird. It was bittersweet, Wes. It was like the shackles came off. You know what I mean? Of the responsibility, but at the same time, it's like part of your heart's ripped out at the same time. So it's bittersweet. I do enjoy them being adults though, now that they're older, but I miss I guess that's where grandkids come in. I just miss
Right.
kids when they're little like that. That's the best age. They're so innocent and they just everything is awesome. That song, the Lego song, that's their
Yeah.
world, right? Everything is awesome. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to forget or hard to remember sometimes that what it's like to be a kid, huh?
Yeah, I think that if most people would just stop, especially when it comes to parenting, just stop and remember. I think you become a better parent. You put yourself in their shoes. I guess that there are people that walk around on this earth, believe it or not, Wes, that they have no ability to put themselves in someone else's shoes. They have a word for it. We'll talk about that some other time. But it's crazy because I think that's the only way you can really be a better person is to do that like daily, and just kind of introspectively look at yourself, right?
Right, and that's why the VR community is so awesome because I mean, what makes you feel like a kid again more than jumping inside of a video game? And it's one of the many reasons that we all share this common love for this tech, and one of the reasons why we meet here 3 nights a week to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're going to be in VR, be careful. Check your VR space and make sure your chair's not going to hit something and flip you over backwards like Wolveraza. I'm glad you're not hurt, bro. Stories like you said in the Discord, dude, like we've all had them. Different ones where you're just falling and there's nothing you can do to stop yourself, and you just have this thing on your face, and it's actually kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, all things sorts of things can go awry when you have that boundary turned off.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about Father's Day here. I mean, it's dangerous for little kids walking through the war zone, right?
Yeah, dude, that's nothing worse than smacking your kid in the face, right? Because you can't help it. They're in your way. And I told you, don't come in here when you see Daddy doing this. Especially if I'm Beat Saber in it, you better watch out.
Yeah, or smash drums. That
Or
was the last one. Yeah.
or Forever Bowl. Man, you
Right.
uppercut a kid, dude, with one of your bowls. Wham! That would be crazy.
Anyway, loads to talk about this week, man. I mean, it never stops in the VR space. Got some more information on PlayStation 5 VR this week. We talked about it last week that there was a report that had come out from a lens manufacturer that was saying that the next gen lenses, not just for PlayStation, but for Oculus as well, were going to likely feature a wider field of view, which was good to have some confirmation of that. But the other thing that the lens manufacturer said was that the Sony headset would be targeted to launch late next year. Um, this week, we have a report from Bloomberg supposedly corroborating that. It says that the Sony headset will launch holiday 22. But the other awesome piece of news that came with that, Bloomberg reporting that Sony will be using Samsung manufactured OLED panels,
Ooh.
which is kind of a big deal. We were wondering if they were going to go the LCD route like every other major consumer headset. And apparently they're going to stick with what they did in Gen 1. And I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I think so. I think everything Sony's doing is a good move, and I think it's well thought out, and I think that's why their headsets is going to be on top at some point in the near future. Now, let me ask you this. Well, maybe not you. Anybody out there watching? Was there like a little bit of a sigh of relief for me? It was like, oh shit, man, I got a little bit of time. Because somebody was saying recently in the Discord, I picked up my PS5 now because I don't want to have to pick them both up at the same time. Well, now I'm 16 months away from this release, or is it 16 months, or maybe it's 20
Yeah,
months?
right around that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway, that's a long time. I have time to get my PS5. I don't have to rush out and try to grab it right now. Although Wes's Returnal stories have made me want to get out there and get it right now. But I have a little bit of time. That's good.
yeah, for some people that certainly is going to be the case. The more time you have to save up money, these are expensive purchases, the better. But important to note that these are only rumors. Nothing official has come from Sony yet, other than the controllers, and the controller specs that they gave us, and the fact that there's going to be a PSVR 2 that's not coming out this year. That's the only official stuff we know. Everything else is just rumors and speculation, although I will give Bloomberg credit as being a credible source. They have leaked other things very accurately in the past. So,
And it makes sense. I mean, it kind of goes on what we thought would
exactly.
happen anyway. So,
I don't get it, man. You look around the PSVR space, and people were just absolutely shocked at this news. And we've said it since day one here. It doesn't make sense for it to come out early next year. Um, the moment that Jim Ryan said not this year, everyone went to Q1 next year, like just like it was a given, almost like they just knew it would be out early next year. But my whole thing has always been, if they could hit that deadline, they would just release it for the holiday this year. Why wait until right after everyone spends all their money to
mhm.
launch your product? That makes no sense whatsoever. So late next year is what we've always said from the beginning. Of course, I'd love to be wrong about that, but I really don't see why it would be otherwise.
People because people create the reality in their own head of what they figure is going to be happen, and then they're shocked when it doesn't happen. Right? It's like it doesn't work that way. Yeah, we were told our whole life growing up that life isn't fair and it is what it is, and now people believe that this is just the way it is, and then something happens and they're like, I can't believe it can't happen this way. Things are crazy, Wes.
But it's good to know that when it does finally get here, um, that it will have OLED panels in it. Why is that important? Well, most people will tell you it's important for black levels, or vivid colors. Um, in my opinion, the most important thing about having the OLED panel is longevity, future proofing. We
Mm.
see, the PlayStation VR headset still being used today, and it's still, in cases of games like Blood and Truth, No Man's Sky, Hitman 3, it still can produce some very stunning results. And that is in no small part due to the fact that it has AMOLED panels in it. So I think that, it's a smart move. If you're going to release a console based product, it's going to have to be something that lasts for a while. And since that's the case, it's good to see Sony, not taking the cheap route out and going with some more expensive uh, panels that will give us more longevity with the final product.
I think everything they're doing screams that they're not going cheap, right? Which is what you want from as a consumer. Now, who knows how much it'll cost, but just all the specs are amazing or sound amazing. So can't wait.
Techno Glitch in the chat says, "Where is Samsung VR?" Yeah, that's a good question. Hopefully, designing a proper controller for that monstrosity that they showed us. You remember, Roots, the Samsung, the next Samsung Galaxy headset, or Galaxy Odyssey headset was unveiled, and it looked like something out of a science fiction movie, and had a controller with like two buttons and a little knob looking thing on it.
Hey, don't you
Didn't
knock
look like.
that knob, bro. That's the future of gaming. You never know.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it links into your neural networking somehow and can determine what you want to do. But if that's not the case, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough interface for a modern VR game.
Makes you wonder, right? Like anybody that's played a modern VR game, and you look at that controller, you can look at it and say, this is not going to work, right? Maybe there's some kind of trick, something else they got up their sleeve, but I don't know.
Maybe it comes with foot pedals so that you can get your feet involved for extra realistic immersion.
Oh God, I wonder how those would work. I just foot sleeves. I don't know.
They'd work like cyber shoes,
Yeah, true. Yeah,
probably.
yeah, but you can't walk around in cyber shoes, right?
No, no, no. You're just imaginary pretend walking
Pretend walking.
by moving your feet while you sit in a chair.
That's immersive.
Immersive, realistic, simulation, even.
Yeah.
Anyway, loads to talk about this week. Um, don't need to waste any time getting started here, but as always, we want to kick things off by saying hello to our friends in chat. And I see Wolveraza is here to kick the show off. It's always good to see you in chat, Wolvie. Pate LaRose says hi, peeps. Hey, Pate, thanks for stopping by. Alexander Ritter joining us from overseas. Hello, Alexander. Onakazi in the house, as is Island Kara. Traveling Man 3775, Space Dennison. Drew even dropped in for a second, Roots, but he's at a party with his family. So he was just stopping in to represent.
Pete Loros, or I think you say it better than me, says holiday 2021. You mean Christmas? I said no,
2022.
2022. That would be cool, man. How cool would that be, right? Then everybody be rushing to get that PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd like for it to be out tomorrow. But I mean, really though, if it were to come out tomorrow, how confident would you be that they didn't take a shortcut with it?
Well, not only that, but I mean, of course, everything would be different than it is right now. Clearly, because it's 2022, there's nothing developed. People are just now developing stuff for it, right? It's no good to have a new hardware system with no games to play. And I don't know. You were saying none of the PlayStation VR ones are going to work on it, right? Or you think, or is that actual?
I don't know. Watching Without Parole the other day, they seemed fairly confident that we would get reissues of a lot of the Gen 1 titles, which I would be, I would love that. But I'm not in the business of assuming anything anymore when it comes to PlayStation 5. I assumed when I bought my PS5 that there would be PSVR 1 games that were exclusive on PS5. None of that. I also assumed that when we got PS5 that we would get PS5 patches for all of my existing PSVR library, but we got none of that. I also assumed that when I got my PS5 that I would be able to stream a PSVR Gen 1 game in full 1080p HD. Also, not the case. So I'm not going to assume anything anymore. I assumed that we'd get Resident Evil 8 in VR when it launched, and we didn't get that. So hopefully they remake some of the classic PSVR games for PSVR or PS5 VR, but I'm not going to hold my breath, and I'm certainly not going to assume.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a lot of assuming you did and a lot of wrongs, but let's not forget all the Westradamus moments out there. Paint a picture like you're not those are assumptions that would have made sense. I don't logically doesn't make sense that those things didn't happen. So
I'm still happy with my purchase. My reinvigorated interest in pancake gaming has been some consolation prize for having one of these. The controller really makes the experience, and I'm happy that I know what to expect when the PlayStation 5 VR controllers are in my hands. It's going to be a revolution.
yeah, well, what about Returnal 2? Not the sequel, but your second round. I know you say you beat it, you're done, you're moving on, but it's gonna start calling to you, Wes. And somebody was it Derail or somebody said the real ending happens after the second time. So I don't think
It's
you're done, Wes.
it's clever how they set the game up because you're constantly reliving the same life over and over again. It's the concept of the game,
Hmm.
which means even when you finish the game, it just keeps going and the story continues beyond your first run. I don't know that you'll get the full ending the second time through. This game seems like something that the story is going to continue to unveil itself, multiple playthrough after playthrough after playthrough. I just don't have time to do that. Now it probably wouldn't take me nearly as long to run through it a second time. Probably not a fraction of the time now that I know how to play. But you know, in the interest of this channel, I'm going to put it down. But I did say I'd stream it, and I know Masher wants me to stream it.
There you go.
Um,
There's your reason.
so I so I'll pick it back up one more time just to do a video. Not sure what channel the stream will come on, but I do think that I will end up doing one sometime this week.
That's dangerous, bro. You make it sound so nonchalant. It's like picking up a crack pipe. I'll just take one more hit, dude, and then I'm done.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
here's what's probably going to happen is I probably just won't die, and I'll have to play through the whole game again on the stream.
Oh, that'd be cool. A full stream of Returnal, one shot, no
One
die.
sitting. You know?
Yeah, one sitting. You know, your
No, I
wife
wouldn't
can
do that.
feed you.
In all seriousness, I wouldn't want to spoil it. I would probably stop early in the second level. I would probably cut it off and call it a day.
Mm. That sucks. See, that's the problem. That's the problem as a content creator. You have to decide, okay, I want to do content, but I don't want to spoil the story for everybody else. So,
Right. Anyway, that's enough about pancake games. Let's dive into the VR news and let's start off like we have so often lately. Let's start off by taking a quick look at some of this week's headlines. First of all, Fracked release details are coming, quote, very soon. Playtime will be pleasantly surprised. Now, this is an interesting headline to me, Roots, because we talked about Fracked. Was it last week or the week before? And we were talking about some of the new stuff that was revealed during the summer showcase on Upload. And it's funny because we came out of it and I said I had questions. The thing's so fast paced that I had questions of how fast the game's going to be over with, right? And we also questioned the fact that we didn't have the release date yet because I felt like we had heard the release date already, although obviously we haven't. So it's interesting that we point out these two things, and then a couple days later, this headline comes out that seems like it addresses our concerns very directly by reassuring us that the release date details are coming very soon, and that the playtime of the game will be a pleasant surprise.
oh, okay. Well, I don't know how anybody from End Dreams would know what we're talking about, but no, actually, that's good news. That's really good news. How
Yeah,
long do you
yeah.
think it'll be?
I don't know, but if you ask my mom, she'll tell you that the longer the better, right?
My
I was
mom!
thinking about trying to get a my dad button today. I don't know it exists. So,
Nah, it was just wouldn't be right.
hmm.
No, you know, I hate to put, those kind of limits on these games. Like I've played games that were, you know, $30 that were 2 hours long that I loved, and then I've had other games that, you know, were dirt cheap and super long that I didn't like so much. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Generally, uh, the ideal adventure game for me is a 8 to 10 hour campaign. But I have no reason to think that this game will or won't, hit that mark.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's gonna be long enough for as good as it is, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. That is one thing that I am confident of. That it's going to be awesome. You know, a lot of people speculating from that footage. Uh, that maybe the game's on a rail or node based, like Blood and Truth. I was able to confirm this past week that that is not the case. Free movement on display in this game. It's just the action sequences are cover based. So when you're in firefights, they expect you to use your cover. And that was what's on display there. But absolutely no rail, no shackles when it comes to movement. We're going to be able to run around where we want.
You might not want to run out in the open. Then is what you're saying. You might want to take cover and not take shots, but you can. You have that option. That's real
Uh,
life for you right there, right?
there you go. Headline: Republic Anniversary Edition is coming soon to PlayStation VR. This is the game that it's like a zombie roots. It just keeps coming back to life. It has a new edition releasing. It seems like every 6 months, like clockwork.
Way to
No
do it.
better way to stay relevant than to keep coming back like Republic has.
That's the way to do it, man. You've played that game, right? That game is actually pretty cool, man.
I have not played that game. I've
Oh,
it's been one I've been interested in, but I never got around to checking it out.
well,
So
you should check it out. I got the Steam version, so
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what people say, that it's really good, and that this is interesting because now they're bringing they gave us Iron Man VR, and now they're bringing Republic over into PSVR as well. Makes me wonder if maybe they might go the opposite way with Iron Man.
that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. And you never know what the deals are with companies, right? There's nothing saying that couldn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely not. And again, like we said yesterday about I forget what other game it was, uh, but or it was Hitman. Like we said about Hitman yesterday, it's right around that time now that you would expect an announcement about something like that if there were some kind of timed exclusivity. So lots of surprises left between now and the end of the year. I'm quite confident.
Yep. Yeah, Spry Guy says Republic is pretty good. I like it. If you like stealth games and that type of stuff, third person, it was pretty cool.
That's not the end of the PlayStation VR news this week, as Windlands 2 is getting physical with PlayStation VR this summer. So not only have we had the resurrection of the PSVR and Windlands 2 over the last couple of weeks, but now we're learning that thanks to the good people at Perp Games, that it's going to have a physical release as well,
Wow.
which is cool. It's a great game.
Yeah. Well, your PlayStation VR or your PlayStation 5 has a disk drive, right?
Yeah,
Because I know for a
absolutely.
bit you were contemplating about not you were debating whether to get it, right, whether it was worth it, and that's why I would always say I'd have to get a disk drive one with a Blu-ray because there's gonna always be that part of me that wants to collect a physical edition, and there'd be no good looking at it and saying no, unless they give you a digital one attached to every disc, then it wouldn't matter, and then you could still keep your copy even unopened. I could see that as a collector item, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, well, my whole thinking in the thing was, I have a small collection of physical PlayStation VR games right now. And if I were to buy the PS5 digital edition, I might be saving $100 on the top of it, but I'm going to just end up turning around and spending that money again as I buy digital versions of all those games. So really, it was a no brainer for me to go with the physical edition.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer anyway, in my opinion. But I guess some people have moved past physical, Wes. But I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say about as far as Windlands 2 getting physical with PlayStation this summer. You know who else is getting physical this summer, Wes?
My mom!
At least that's the rumor.
Yeah, no one, nobody better to help you achieve your physical release than that lady.
That's right.
Anyway, Windlands 2, a great addition. I am curious if they're going to nerf the multiplayer at all, if it's going to be full 3 or 4 players or whatever it is on PC. I know that there have been other games that uh, feature 4 players on PC that come out on PlayStation and only feature two. So it'll be interesting to see if if they're allowed to leverage the power of the PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 5, or and it'll be interesting to see how that affects multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah. Really.
All right, Oculus Quest news. Quest version 30 update bringing multitasking as well as mic switching and AirLink to the original Oculus Quest. So here we are, Roots. As Quest 2 owners, we get excited week after week after week as we see all these new updates coming out, new features available to us. We almost take it for granted, and nobody ever really thinks about the poor lowly Oculus Quest 1 customers out there who a lot of the time aren't getting this stuff. So it's nice to see that the OG Quest owners out there are getting AirLink capability on their Oculus Quest, although I still haven't been able to get AirLink to work on my Quest 2. So uh, good luck to them getting it to work on the Quest 1.
You did try it again, or no?
I tried it yesterday. I
Huh.
absolutely did.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what the conflict is. I would say just make it work, dude. Like there's something wrong with you doing it, but that's how I feel about the persistence in VR. Who Spaced Innocence
Oh,
has just finished last night and got the good ending, Wes.
nice. I'll say this to you, Roots. Our friend Simplex from Poland left a comment on the last video that we did, and he said that your troubles are settings based. There are certain there are certain RTX settings that will break VR games, and there are two of them in this game. You have to disable global illumination, and you have to disable real time shadows. And if you do that, then your problems are going to vanish magically.
I can't even get the game to start to change the settings. So how do you change the settings
Boot
without?
it, boot it, boot it in flat.
I tried that. I tried booting it in flat, even just regular, just to see. Well, at least I got somewhere. I've got somewhere to look and to start, and maybe I can get in there before Wednesday so we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Let me know. Let me know if just contact me. We'll work it out together, friend.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, hold
Mike
on.
switching.
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say, Pete Laura. Everyone's talking about some commercials about commercials in the Facebook, and that it sucks.
Yeah. So I guess this would be a good opportunity to let everybody know what we're going to be talking about this Wednesday on the virtual show. And this is going to be our topic of discussion. We're going to talk about advertising in VR. And is it a good thing or a bad thing? Are you suspicious of it? Are you upset about it? Or are you taking a wait and see approach to it? Are all advertising is all advertising bad, or are only certain types bad? And what if it means um, a new revenue stream for the developers? There's a lot of things to unpack when it comes to the advertising in VR. It's not a simple black and white issue like a lot of people make it out to be, and we're going to explore that on Wednesday after we talk about Smash Drums and after we talk about a Rogue Escape.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Wishing it was Wednesday already, although that means I'm back at work. Okay.
That leads nicely into our next couple of headlines. Blaston review bombed after Facebook ad announcement. So Facebook announced that they're running kind of a trial period where they're trying out a few different advertising techniques in VR. One of the titles that they showed in their example pictures was Blast On, and I guess the VR community got their blast on as they review bombed the hell out of the blast on for being associated with this in the least. So unfortunate, right?
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate for Blast On. I mean, I'm kind of torn on this one, Wes, because my first instinct is to be like, good for people for immediately. I mean, because that's the thing, and I say this for everything. If we don't like something, reject it. If we reject it in such a fashion and very quickly, it'll shut down. I don't care what the arguments are for a- advertisements in Facebook, right? It's when we sit back on our hands and we wait and we see, but that's where I'm torn because you can't just knee jerk freak out about everything either. Um, but part of me wants to do exactly this and just vocally scream at the top because my thoughts are very not good. I don't want to. The worst case scenarios, which would be interruptions in the middle of a game for an advertisement in some form or fashion. I'm playing Audica and I watch Coca-Cola go across the screen or something, or whatever it is. I don't want that. I just want it to be as it is. So I don't know.
Certainly understandable concerns. My whole trepidation with the thing comes from I'm pretty sure that none of these people actually saw an ad in their game yet. You know, that they saw an announcement. And now I could be wrong about this. Maybe they uploaded the patch that day, which put ads in Blast on. But
Hmm.
if these people didn't actually see the ad in their game and they're going and review bombing a game, you know, people read those reviews, and you know, VR gaming is very unique in the fact that people do look at the ratings and reviews and make purchasing decisions based on it. You know, getting a bad review in VR is a pretty big deal, or it can be. It's unfortunate
Well, for the
that
devs, absolutely. Well, and it's a Facebook thing. If there's a way to get Facebook to realize, look, this is unpopular. It just sucks that people want to go to such lengths where it's going to affect somebody else, and you see that in every aspect of the life. Let's, whatever it is, who cares who it hurts? I just want my voice to be heard. And the people in Blast On are like, oh man, what did we do, dude? It's just another pressure technique. Now, what game's going to want to tie themselves onto this, right?
right. Right. Well, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Is it worth it? Right? Is it worth that extra money if you're making your game into the Netscape of VR? Do you remember Netscape, where it was like
Mm.
free internet, but you constantly had ad banners all around your screen? Just back in the dial-up days. I don't know if you
Mm.
remember this, but
I don't
uh,
remember the ads, but I remember Netscape. I think I had used AOL back then, so I didn't have to worry
but
about that. I had to pay for it though.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, more on the topic coming this Wednesday. We'll deep dive on it and thoroughly visit the subject.
Yeah.
Larcenauts loot boxes will not turn into microtransactions. This is Impulse Gear talking about their new game Larcenauts, promising no microtransactions. You know, it's funny, Roots. Um, Here we are, microtransact. This isn't quite advertising, but it's an interesting observation into the psyche of the consumer. It's like it's like we all want VR development studios to succeed, but they can't let anybody see them wanting to make money. It's like if a developer wants to make any kind of money, that it's an undesirable trait and it puts off customers. And I think it's funny to see not only the major backlash against advertisement, but the bad taste in everyone's mouth that they get when they start reading about things like microtransactions. I for one think that microtransactions, if done right, are just fine. But again, everybody has this negative reaction to it because it makes them think that that these artists, you know, these game developers, are really greedy businessmen in disguise.
Mm. Yeah. Well, and maybe some of them are. I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't assume that everybody's good, but I would assume that there's a lot of reasons for it. Like just the way Big Box uses it, and they're constantly changing things. It allows them to be more creative. I just figure as long as it's not giving anybody a competitive edge, it really shouldn't matter. And it's a weird argument that people have had for so long, where you know there's people out there, Wes, believe it or not, if they make enough money, it's not worth 50 hours of grinding to do whatever you need to do to get to this point of all these cosmetics or whatever. So they'd rather spend that money to make it less time. And people get pissed because they have to put the time in. They earned it. Well, those people earn that money. I mean, everything evens out. So I don't really think it makes a difference. But if it's something that's going to make you have a edge over somebody else, then I could see it. In Larcenauts, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. I saw a lot of people complaining about the having to unlock the different skins or the different characters, right? And it's a progression based. It's not progression based. You get loot boxes. Literally, I unlocked the robot and some other character in 2 matches. You know what I mean? Like you're just getting you're unlocking all these different boxes and it's just random. All of a sudden you have this new character. It's pretty cool the way they do it. It makes you want to go back in. You want to get the healer, which I didn't get, but I did get the badass tank and radio run. I could hear the envy in your voice, bro. I know you wanted the tank. It's badass, Wes. But yeah, so I don't know. That's my thought on it anyway.
Yeah, I find it interesting because what you just described when it comes to Pop One, I think is absolutely fine, and most people would agree with that. But if you use that word microtransactions, now all of a sudden everyone has this negative reaction. And to be honest, I think it's kind of a result of the constant bombardment on our psyche with regards to class politics and the haves versus the have-nots. Everyone gets this bad feeling when they feel like that someone else is more fortunate than them and has something that they don't have. And I kind of think that that's where a lot of this stems from with the microtransactions as well as the advertisement.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And Gamertag has a good point. It says some YouTubers want the attention on them, not VR, and that's true. I missed in the conversation you guys are having in chat. I haven't been paying attention, unfortunately, but it's a very valid point.
Absolutely. Headline: Survival horror shooter Dead Effect 2 gets a surprise App Lab release on Quest. Roots, mixed reviews on Steam, but all in all, a fairly popular release just because it was one of the early games that gave us the opportunity to co-op in VR and
Mhm.
play a zombie adventure in VR, which is why I was excited to see it coming to Oculus Quest until I read the fine print. And the fine print says no multiplayer on Oculus Quest. Is there any reason why we should go pay $20 for Dead Effect 2 with no co-op?
Well, I mean, it depends. In my opinion, it's one of the better zombie type shooter games. It's got an intricate system as far as all the different items you're upgrading, the earpieces. Like I mean, there's a lot of thought. I think wasn't it a flat game brought into VR at one point? I thought it was, but maybe not. But that's kind of disappointing. I didn't read that it was not co-op. That's one of my favorite things about it. I've played with several different people. Played through quite a bit of it with Alex. Actually, it was actually a pretty good game, and I mean, it's just weird. It's not
But
co-op.
it certainly is still somewhat appealing to me as it plays to my personal taste. You know, I like this type of game. Um, I'm interested in as in why it doesn't support multiplayer. We know that they have access to to those parts of the Oculus ecosystem. When they become an App Lab game, you basically get access to all the stuff that people on the official store have with regards to multiplayer and all of that. So yeah, interested. Maybe it's just something that's coming in a future update that it just wasn't ready yet. But a little bit surprised to say the least that that it is available.
Yeah, well, they need to make it. That's one of the best parts about this game. It's actually a good game. I've heard people in the Discord trashing it, but then they'll go on and on about Zero Caliber or something. I thought that Dead Effect 2 is way better than Zero Caliber in the respect of story and all the different upgrades and different things. There was always something I was having to mess with, and you're saving characters, you're adding characters to your ship, and then now you can you're able to go to them and buy certain items from them. I just think it's got that AAA game loop that you want in VR, and that's why I feel like it was in VR or flat to begin with. But
There you go. We need to play it.
yeah, I think you'd like it. I think you'd really like it. And it's definitely cool.
Some more Oculus Quest news. Forever Bowl feels a little more consistent now with the new update. So, you know, we played Forever Bowl on launch or even pre-launch
Hmm.
and enjoyed it, but we did recognize that there were some things holding it back. Free locomotion and smooth turning being a big one, and apparently this is a problem no more. Roots, as Forever Ball has now finally gotten that promised quality of life update.
Well, thank God, because this is now I can point to this of why I did so bad. But it's funny, Wes, because I think it was Delirium Drew that was because Diz came in, keeps dropping into the Discord and keeps saying, "Oh, dude, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I just rolled another 288." He's like rocking the scores. And I think it was Drew that was like, it's funny because he's never available whenever we're around to play. And it was almost like he was throwing some shade on his scores. I'd like to see Diz prove his score because then it'd be like, shut up, bro.
Yeah, he's probably tracing out like a 30-foot by 30-foot play area and then just walking up to the pins
Well, he's
and knocking them over.
he's got the bumpers.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's funny.
Headline: Racket NX update brings new level editor now live on Quest and PCVR. This is always an interesting one, man. You have these games that have been staples in VR forever, and then they get their definitive update that brings all this new functionality and features, and you think that that's going to be it for them, but then they come back one more time, and they come back with the level editor. I haven't played enough Racket NX to know how big of a deal this is going to be, but I do know that the people I know that have played it think that this is a very awesome, underrated game. And obviously, a level editor would have to be a big deal for fans of the game.
Especially with wireless VR. This game's amazing. When are we going to see Wes's Racket NX levels? I want to check them out, bro. You working
Yeah,
on
that is not happening. I don't do the I play custom levels. I do not make them. It's not my bag, bro.
them? Drew says he's probably using the cheater ball as far as Diz goes. I don't know. I need to find that ball and then I could win one. But yeah, I need to get into Racket. There's a couple games I need to get in Racket NX. And what was that? What's the other one that has the Sandlocky pin or ping pong handle? We still need
Oh,
to
you're
do
talking
this.
about 11 table
Yeah,
tennis?
I need to play some 11 table tennis. I haven't tried that in my Quest 2 yet. So
Yeah, nor have I, but I did pick it up. So I'm with you on this one.
cool.
Man, by the way, for Drew and those of you out there who are interested in the Forever Ball, they did more than just adding those locomotion options. They also upgraded to what they're calling Throw 2.0, so that there's more realistic um, movement physics in the game when
Really?
it comes to actually rolling the ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. That game is actually really good, and I need to get back in there just for the environments and the balls.
Yeah, absolutely. One more headline before we get on to the week's gaming news. Breakthrough pancake lenses could bring compact headsets. So this apparently is some kind of big breakthrough made by this lens manufacturer using high quality plastic lenses that sit right against the screens. The way that headsets are made now, there's kind of a gap in between the screens and these Fresnel lenses that are Fresnel or however you pronounce it, the Fresnel lenses. Um, there's a gap, which obviously, I mean, it's necessary for optical reasons, but it makes for some big, bulky equipment. Well, apparently, according to this lens manufacturer, that will soon be a thing of the past. And this will not only enable smaller, more compact headsets, but it's going to enable us to use newer display technology such as micro LED. So, um, good news all around
Yeah,
from
we're
the
right,
hardware front.
right on the edge, dude. Think about this, man. We're and time wise, I mean, everything's moving so much faster, but we're not that much far removed from our computer that's on our over there on my shelf being this whole house probably or an entire room. You know what I mean? Everything's shrinking down. So I don't think we're that far removed from this technology being the reality, right? Even with wider lenses and who knows what else. They're finding so many different ways to do different things, and technology is advancing. Well, not only that, but they really do. They are using AI now for a lot of this technology that's coming out, and I think that's helping speed things up. And it's creepy as well.
You know what's really helping to speed things up
Mm.
and is going to make next year uh, so entertaining to watch how it plays out is competition in the space.
Mm.
We're gonna have three companies competing next year to define what the next generation of VR is going to be. And I'll go ahead and give you the answer right now. They're all going to win. They're all going to have their own separate segment of the greater VR ecosphere. And there is going to be no clear winner at the end of it all, except for the VR consumer.
I was
We're
just
going to
gonna say
win.
we're the winners that wins in this scenario. So
Exactly. Anyway, that wraps up the week's headlines. And moving right along, let's get into the week's gaming news. Tetris Effect, the VR compatible reinvention of the iconic 80s stacker puzzle, is getting a host of fresh features soon that will bring some new online multiplayer modes and crossplay to all supported platforms. A new post on the PlayStation blog has confirmed details for the upcoming connected expansion, which will be available as a free update for all owners of the base game. The so-called Connected Summer 2021 expansion is said to hit PSVR, Steam VR, and Oculus Quest sometime in late July. A free beta of the expansion is releasing June 23rd to July 5th for players on the PlayStation and Epic Game stores. The new crossplay function will allow you to create private rooms with a 4-digit alphanumeric code so that you can directly connect with friends across all supported platforms. So we've been waiting on this one for a while, Roots. It seems like one of the best games in VR, irrespective of platform, is about to get a whole lot better as we're about to bring our friends into our crazy, trippy world.
I was just thinking how long it's been. We've been talking about this Connect thing for a long time, so much so that I was looking for anything but this picture for the on the picture of 4 because I was like, man, how many times have I had that in Tetris Connect on our thing? But finally, we're gonna get to see it, and this is the game I'd like to be see Tiffany in there. Let's get in there, Tiffany. You, me, Drew, who else? Ever else wants to compete against Roots and Tetris? I'm pretty good at it, pretty decent anyway. I love Tetris in general, but Tetris 99 is one of the coolest multiplayer experiences out there, I think. And not saying that we're going to get the same thing in VR, but anything close, I think, will be cool.
Yeah, well, one of the things that made Tetris Effect so great was the rule sets and the campaign play that we saw. For me, at least, anyway, the first time I ever saw something like that in a Tetris game.
Hmm.
So one of the cooler things about the update isn't just that it's going to keep the same game and then let you bring your friends into it with you, but rather there are some fairly significant updates to the game itself. It's going to be like a whole new game, and mainly because of these new multiplayer modes. There are 4 of them. The connected mode allows you to form a 3-player team to try to defeat AI controlled bosses. Connect your matrices as you enter the zone and clear lines together to deal massive
Ooh.
damage. So it's like a Tetris boss fight, Roots.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's kind of like Tetris 99, where you can gang up. People are ganging up on people, and like all of a sudden you have all sorts of stuff coming down. I just think it's cool. I think it takes, like you said, one of the best games in VR and makes it better. If you don't think this is the best game in VR, this is just Tetris. Maybe to you it is just Tetris, but for me, it's a really cool game, and it's something you couldn't experience this game of Tetris any other way and have it be the same as it is in VR. And you can't say that for all games, except for obviously being in there. So
Right. Some of the other multiplayer modes that are being added in is a zone battle, which is a one-on-one competition played with standard Tetris Effect settings, with the key to victory being adept use of the time-stopping zone mechanic, something which is very much new to Tetris Effect. There's also a score attack mode, which is another one-on-one competition played with standard Tetris Effect settings. Only here, no line attacks are exchanged. If your score is higher than your opponent's when both games end, then you win. It's kind of a single player competitive Tetris. But out of all of them, the one that intrigues me the most is the classic score attack. This is a one-on-one score attack competition that's played using old school Tetris settings. No hard drops, no ability to hold a tetramino. Only one tetramino is shown in the next queue, and you can't spin them forever. When they land on the ground, they stick as soon as they land. So classic Tetris rules with the score attack competition set. This is what I'm looking forward to, man. Showing off some of my old school Tetris skills head to head with my friends.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I'll tell you what, I was with you until the end there, and in the sense that a lot of people are going to be put off about that flippance thing, man. I didn't even know that there were other ways to play this game. I always play that way, so I would have an advantage. I didn't even know that you can do all those different things. But I think that's the way to play it, right? The old school way.
Well, it would be impossible to complete journey mode, I think, without using the new mechanics. But this ain't journey mode, man. This is the attack or
Mm.
or score attack. So it's basically classic Tetris packaged in the Tetris Effect shell, which
Like,
allows you, of course, to experience it in VR.
are you gonna go in there and play against your wife?
Yeah, I mean, if she gets cocky, I will. I have to put her in her place.
Yeah, I like that answer. That's good.
As with the original game, all of the new modes are playable both inside and outside of VR. You can choose to use your PSVR headset or simply play flat screen without it. The blog also confirms that everything remains backwards compatible on PlayStation 5 for those of you who are using a PSVR
Hmm.
headset on the next gen console. So, no compatibility issues here. If you're rocking a PS5, nothing to worry about. Only good times.
Yeah, you're in the elite. You got the PS5, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. Again, this is something that the Microsoft people have had access to for 6 months or more, and it's going to be nice to. Yeah, you could tell from the onset of this game that it was kind of meant to be a community thing. They were trying to connect people, which is hard to do when you don't have a multiplayer feature. So it's like, even though this is a new feature for a game that's been out forever, it just kind of fits naturally with what they had already built there with their community events and all the community building features that they launched with. So.
When is Xbox getting VR? That's what somebody was asking. When are they gonna get in the freaking game, bro?
Well, when it's too late, pretty much.
Yeah, that's true. Unless they buy or somehow link with somebody like we theorized back in the day. Scion VR sliding in says, guess who shows up randomly and says PSVR rules? Gerillo? Oh no, Scion VR. Those are the two people that usually slide in saying that, right?
Everybody says, or Wolvie says, your mom.
My mom!
Oh yeah, she does like to slide in saying PSVR rules. Although she does enjoy some quests as well. I've heard.
Anyway, it's a good time for Scion to show up because we are going to talk a little bit about PCVR right now, as indie studio Candy Makers have been working on their co-op zombie shooter Survive for over 3 years, with the title originally arriving as a Steam Early Access title way back in 2018. The game has gone through numerous iterations since then, and it'll soon take the next big step, officially leaving Steam Early Access. Survive is a zombie apocalypse themed wave shooter that features big levels to explore and your friends to accompany you. Survive is split between 3 game modes: an 18 plus story campaign, survival, where you have to level up, craft, feed, and fight endlessly, and trials mode with classic horde, defense, and escape modes. Most importantly, all 3 of these modes can be played solo or with up to 4 friends, and when in co op, players will have to watch out for friendly fire. Survive's gameplay is geared toward realism rather than arcade action, so there are fully simulated weapons to play with, from rifles and pistols to shotguns and machine guns. They all have real bullet physics, reload gestures, realistic recoil and bloom effects, and the ability to manually attach and remove weapon accessories.
Hmm.
Melee weapons are also available, offering that classic silent close combat approach. You can be sneaky and disguise yourself. And when the chance arrives, in the zombies in survival can be brutally dismembered. Survive will leave early access on the 20th of June. That's today, supporting Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, Valve Index, and WMR. Roots, I had written this game off forever as just being another arcade style wave shooter. But according to this information, I was so wrong about this game.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now. I saw somebody in Discord playing this yesterday. I don't know who it was, but I saw it on the right under their name. And I thought intrigued me because I forgot that this game was still out there, but it's been on sale several different times. I'm assuming it's not on sale now, now that it's out of release. But I might have to check it out.
Yeah, realistic weapon mechanics. I know that's something that appeals to our friend Wolveraza. He's been on about that for pretty much since Larcenauts launched. So he'll be happy to hear that this features very realistic weapon mechanics. And Scion will be happy to hear that, of course, that you can melee stealth kill things and the guns have proper recoil. So, again, just a PCVR lover's smorgasbord here.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of blood and guts and zombies. Oh, you just lost Scion at zombies. He says, as aside from the zombie games giving him horrible nightmares, he would be in. I don't know. It looks pretty good. I'd be interested to see. It's been out there so long. It's one of those games where, if I was gonna spend my money on, I'm kind of scouring the new reviews as it comes out, seeing what some of the people that like us would say if we had a key, if they give us a key and we talked about it, then I'd know definitively. But it's just been out so long that I want to know how good is this game. It looks good.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've actually done what a lot of games never seem to do, and that is that they've fulfilled the ideal cycle. This is what you expect when a game comes into early access, even if it takes 3 years. You expect constant improvement, numerous iterations, but you're always working toward that end goal where you're not going to be early access anymore, and you're going to have a big blowout launch. And apparently, that's what they're trying to do here, and I commend them for it.
So would this be considered for game of the month, or has it already had its release?
Well, I think we agreed in the past that that we would take these on a case by case basis and just apply common sense to it.
Right.
To me, this is a new game because I've never played it.
And we never talked about it, and it was not even worth talking about before because we knew that there was something in the future. I felt like I was Marty McFly, and I came to this is where we came to this game right now. We got to check it out. So if devs, candy makers, give us some keys, and we'll check it out. We'll talk about it.
Well, there you go. I think the Roots has put it out there now, and our path has been set into motion. So I guess we will revisit this one in a couple of weeks as we talk about June game of the month.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Loads of new games. It seems like these demon and zombie monster games are in no short supply this week as Cyrento VR developer Mixed Realms is teasing its new project, and it looks quite different. Tentatively titled Project Hellsweeper, it's not a direct sequel to Cyrento, but rather a spiritual successor to the game's mechanics, including the work the game did with locomotion and, quote, visceral combat. The studio recently took to Twitter to share a short clip of the game and to offer up a brief description. Quote, for our next VR game, we are bringing the experience of performing movie-worthy stunts and godlike fight sequences to a whole new level of, oh my God, did I just do that in VR? We're upping the game with even more innovative mechanics and locomotion. So this short pre-alpha video footage shows the player using giant melee weapons and pistols to take down demonic forces. They also summon fireballs, toss axes, and towards the end, split an enemy in two before dashing their heart on the ground. In a post on the Oculus Quest subreddit, the developer confirmed that there will be a public beta for the game that will launch in around a month or two. You can register your interest over on their official Discord channel. In related news, their previous title, Cyrento Untethered for the Oculus Quest, also gets an update, which brings optimization when running on Oculus Quest 2. Folks playing the game on the Quest 2 will get to enjoy improved fidelity with up to 90 frames per second, increased spawn rate of enemies, and added splashed blood decals and slayed enemy corpses staying longer in the arena. So Roots Mixed Realms being quite busy these days, not only supporting their various versions of Cyrento that they have on the marketplace there, but working on its spiritual successor. And this is an idea that I really wish developers would take up more because we know that there are cases where some of our Gen 1 favorites aren't feasibly going to get a sequel, but there are still things about those games that we love that we would like to see in future titles. So I kind of think this idea of a spiritual successor is something that these studios should really take up a little more often.
Yeah, it looks pretty crazy, action packed. Gamer chick says she likes the dismemberment, half torso dismemberment. I also too like that. I wish they had a picture out there, some kind of a artwork that I wanted to put this in the thumbnail this morning. I just couldn't find anything for it. What are those things that those ones are carrying? Those little domes they've got on their back. I want to know what they do. Is that like, I'm not seeing any way they protect them, but I just think that it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks like the Cyrento developers want to make a Doom game.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like to me. It's frenetic, crazy, fast paced, and visceral.
the developers are starting to realize, especially with games like Doom and other games coming out, that they don't have to hold the hands of gamers anymore. And there's enough people out there that don't get sick like they thought, or there's other options they can do. They're starting to take those gloves off, which is good. I like it.
Yeah, and it's it makes me super interested to see you know all the progress made by the studio. We talk about it often, the Gen 2 bump that comes from these developers finally getting their feet wet in VR game development and knowing what they're doing. Cyrento, as polished and awesome as it is now, was a long process getting it to that point where these guys, going through and basically learning how to make a VR game as they go. But now they know, right? And we've had all these different updates to all the game engines. So excited to see what this turns out to be. And even though this is pre-alpha footage, they could take a page out of Joyway's book and it'd take about 2 weeks from pre-alpha to close beta, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder exactly what was that? I lost my train of thought. Scion says he came here just to remind me about the Jesus Radar game, what's the name of it again?
Beasts Shall Rise.
Yeah, Beast Shall Rise. I can't wait to play some Beast Shall Rise. Now, as I'm watching this footage, I'm noticing I'm not seeing one bit of jumping or flipping around. That's one thing that Cyrento is known for, right? Backflips, flipping off the walls, the ceiling, all that. Do you think that's still incorporated in this game, or maybe...
I don't know, that they're touting their innovative locomotion mechanics and promising further innovation with this game. So if it doesn't have that specifically, I would imagine that there's probably going to be some other kind of weird locomotion going on here.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, cool, I think is the word that sums it up best. This looks cool, and I can't wait to see more.
Yeah.
During the PC gaming show this year, New Blood Interactive showed off a sizzle reel, which features a brief look at various titles in development, such as Dusk 82 and Gloomwood. Among them is a VR version of Amid Evil, which New Blood CEO Dave Oshry has confirmed is in development. The original version of A Medieval is a retro first-person shooter adventure game featuring hordes of evil enemies to kill and non-linear levels to explore. These enemies will hunt you down on land, sea, and air, and you have magical weapons that you can overcharge with the souls of the dead to defeat them. We don't have much information regarding a medieval VR just yet, but we do know that it's a first person game and doesn't feature highly intensive AAA graphics, though the base game does now feature support for ray tracing as well as DLSS 2.0.
Mm.
And considering this game was shown off during the PC gaming show, it makes sense to assume that this game will be launching on Steam with support for PC VR headsets. So this is a game, Roots, that I saw a little bit of chatter about online. People excited that this game is going to be coming to VR, and I can honestly say I've never heard of it. I've never heard of a medieval, Roots.
Yeah, me neither. But you know, I kind of fall in that category where we missed a lot of classics, right? It looks pretty cool. I like the artwork. I like flipping the axes. Wolveraza says he also likes flipping the axe. And you know who else likes flipping the axe, Wes?
My
Oh
mom.
yeah, special Father Day axe. I don't know. It looks pretty cool to me. I'd like to see a little bit more action besides that one swing, but it's a teaser reel. It's teased me, Wes, and now I want more. Derail says it was
Yeah,
a
well,
good flat game, and I do believe it. Yes, Derail has played a lot of flat games.
yeah, I would expect Derail to know something about it. Generally, he's the one that chimes in whenever we talk about these sorts of things. He's got a decorated past in pancake gaming. This is just one of those that fell during that window, my hiatus from gaming. But it looks cool, you know. I actually watched more footage than just this little axe flip here. I actually went and watched some of the flat footage of it,
Mm,
and it looks cool. It looks like a game that's going to be a natural fit for VR.
yeah, well, that's cool. I can't wait then. Uh,
Garage Collective says it was one of the first in a wave of retro shooters. So it's the typical boomer shooter, but there's a lot more going on here rather than just like a reskin of Serious Sam or some of these other old school shooters that we have in VR.
I always forget about Serious Sam, dude. I need to get back in there, man. That's such a good game. There's so much action and so much, like, it's just carnage, bro.
Yeah, man, and talk about a way to exercise your VR legs. That game is certainly one of them.
Yeah, Anthony says it's too fast. I think that was him that said that. Some games, I mean, you really do. You run, there's no holding your hand in that game. If you're going to get VR sick from locomotion, it's going to happen for sure in that game.
Yeah, well, I
So,
mean, it's interesting because you know one of the techniques I try to teach new people to to overcome VR sickness is always to look where you're walking. If you want to look around at things in your peripheral vision, then you should stop moving and do it, right? Uh, that way, you know, you don't have
mm,
this motion sick, this car sick effect going on where you're looking this way and moving that way. So I try to teach people to develop that as a habit, but it is completely antithetical to how you would want to play a game like Serious Sam. There's
mm,
so much coming at you that you constantly have to have your head on a swivel and and run to wherever wherever you can run. You know, it's not like you have a lot of options when the enemies are coming at you from every direction.
mm.
So yeah, basically the moral of the story is if you're new to VR, you probably shouldn't play Serious Sam, and if you're not, you probably should.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm starting to rethink when I put my ex-wife into VR for the first time, and I threw her into No Limits too. And she's looking around, and it was about 30 seconds she had to get out of there, bro. It was an eye opener. I may or may have not done that on purpose. I'm just kidding.
Garage Collective in the chat, Eddie C, congratulations on a successful launch for Stones of Harleth. And I would characterize it as a successful launch. It seems to have been well received, which is not surprising. It's a good game. But Garage Collective in the chat says that definitely going to purchase a medieval. Um, Cyril, obviously a fan of these retro style games, and very familiar with the medieval, the original medieval.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Stones of Harleth, that, like we said, they put themselves in a no brainer category, right? As far as purchase
Oh yeah,
at
with the
that price,
price.
yeah, at that price point in the game you're getting for it. So if you haven't picked it up, the hell, I question your soul, bro. What's wrong with you?
Well, yeah. What are you doing,
Mm,
bro?
yeah.
All right. Anyway, one more title to talk about before we call it a show, Roots. And I thought I'd throw this one in here because of the success, at least in our community, of Walkabout Mini Golf. People love these mini golf games. And before Walkabout, I mean, I think there was even another one that people were enjoying playing mini golf in VR. You know, on PlayStation, you had the Everybody's Golf. It seems like everybody in VR wants to golf for some reason.
Hmm.
So I imagine that they're all going to be ecstatic to learn about the updates that are coming to Top Golf with Pro Putt. Top Golf with Pro Putt initially launched in May 2020 as a putting only experience. In November, it added full swing driving range with Top Golf mini games as well. The next major update is going to bring about full swing golf courses, something no other game on the Oculus Quest store currently offers, and you can sign up for the beta today. Ryan Engel, founder and CEO of GolfScope, announced the feature on Twitter alongside the beta sign up form. Engel's tweet only mentions Quest 2, interestingly, so it's unclear if full courses are also going to be available on the original Quest. Currently, there's no word on a release date, but again, you can sign up for the beta test today. So, Roots, I have yet to golf in VR. As a matter of fact, I had no idea that there were no golf games that featured full course, full flavor, full featured golf the way that Pro Putt is about to. So, is this something that you're excited about? Is this something that I should be excited about?
I don't know. I didn't even know this game existed. I was thinking about this today. It's one of those games that because I wasn't in on the Quest One world at that time, and even though we were talking about VR, I wasn't really focusing on that because I didn't have it, right? And so I saw this game and I went and I looked at the reviews and I was like, oh my God, it's like 1,100 people reviewed and they're almost all good, right? People rave about this game. So it sounds like they're making a great game even better. And so I am excited. I am a little shocked that you still have yet to get into any mini golf. I guess you must have not played mini golf much as a kid or something. For me, it was I grew up in Southern California, and like when people talk about miniature golf, some rinky dink trashy thing. That's the ones I went to were like these elaborate, almost like an amusement park type of thing, underground and caves, and I mean the most elaborate miniature golf places all the time. And so that's kind of how I look at VR version of it. You got all these really cool, elaborate environments and different things that most people don't have access to because miniature golf is kind of fading, and it brings back a lot of good memories. So I don't know. I might have to check this out.
So, an interesting distinction here, though, unlike walkabout mini golf, this is full fledged golf. So, you're going to have these expanded, huge courses,
Mm.
but it's going to come at the expense of a lot of the flavor that you get from a mini golf game. So, this is going to be rather, or you can tell by looking at it, this is kind of a vanilla experience, right?
Mm.
Not a whole lot to look at here. It's going to be all about the gameplay. Um, is this going to end up being our Tiger Woods VR, you think?
It could be. I mean, if it's done well enough, there's enough people out there that want to actually go out there and feel like they're not playing as much fun as mini golf is. A lot of people want to play real golf. And especially if they're they're stuck inside for some reason that you may be stuck inside. I won't bring up. You might want to go play golf on these elaborate courses. I just think it's cool to see a developer, and we say this all the time, continue to keep delivering, even after it's been a full year and a half that this thing came out, and now they're back in the headlines again. People are going to pick it up. I may even pick this thing up. I didn't even know it existed, and I'd rather get a key from the devs. If you want to shoot one over to us, we'll check it out. But it definitely looks cool.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that all these years later, 4 or 5 years into the consumer VR era, we're finally just now starting to get our very first iterations of professional sports in VR, and it's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's weird.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it is weird, and we've said this about every sport: basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever. Had different attempts, but I don't think that the player pool. There's a lot of people out there that love sports, and then maybe they haven't felt until now there was enough people that are in VR that are sports fans to make it worthwhile. That's why you've seen these sports scrambles. I guess I don't know if sports scrambles is that one. It's got multiple different sports, right? I never played
Yeah,
it.
it's kind of a mashup game where they blend the sports together.
Right. So if you think about it, you'd have to entice people for a full-fledged football game, you're hitting a niche. But if you can make six different sports, you're hitting a lot of different niches. You have a bigger pool of people to pull in. But we're getting to the point now where there's enough people in VR that they may think it's worthwhile to have a full-fledged golf game. How cool would it be if you could like do a full tour, right? Like an actual, and that's one, or if it's baseball, you could play a full season as the team. That's what we're going towards pretty soon here, and that in VR will be really cool.
Absolutely. Today it's bowling and golf, and tomorrow it'll be baseball and basketball, and then eventually we'll get to that holy grail of American football and mixed martial arts. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's fun to you know slowly watch VR mature as a platform, and when you see these milestones being met that flat gaming met 30 years ago, it's just a good indicator of where we're at, and that it's still the early days.
Yeah, UFC, dude. I'm gonna get someone in an arm bar.
Yeah,
That
yeah, man,
it's
I'm
gonna
all
be
for it.
cool. Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool.
All right, so that's going to wrap up the week in news and bring us to our weekly reminders. And we're going to kick it off. There are some titles out this week, Roots, and we already talked about the top one here, Survive, again from Candy Makers, coming into full release on Steam today. Check it out.
Yeah.
Anti Prism coming to us from studio called Zero Fun. Isn't that a good name for a game studio, Roots? Zero Fun. Uh, Anti Prison coming to us on June 24th. So the day before my birthday, Anti Prism comes out. And I included this Roots because it looks like a channel favorite in the way that it's played. This looks like Space Cats with lasers to me, bro.
Yeah, it looks like it could be like an asteroids type of thing. I think Zero Fun is fun. It's like no go, Nova. Like somebody that's like, no, dude, like we've already printed out the cards, we've got everything made, we're sticking with it. It looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, it looks like a dual wielding version of Space Cats. It looks pretty cool.
Do you think this is coming out on Viveport Infinity? It'd,
I do
it'd,
not know that.
it'd
I
be a
could
good
not.
game. Could be a good game for it, and it's a good chance to let you know to pick up. Well, I'm not in the picture here for some reason. I guess I'm just invisible. But yeah, let's definitely pick it up if you Viveport Infinity if you don't own it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Sentenced VR. This is a game coming
Back.
to us from a guy named Samuel Gordon, June 25th. And this is a game we've known about for a long time. And I'm still kind of confused with regards to this game because it's a public execution game where you very literally play the executioner in medieval times.
Mm.
So, hearing that, it makes you think that this is going to appeal to the type of person who wants to behead, dismember, and maim people. But reading the description of the game, I think that the intended consequence here is that the developer wants you to have to struggle with your conscience as you brutally murder these video game avatars. So I don't know. I don't know if this one's going to quite hit home the way that it's intended to.
Oh man, dude, I'm already torn, Wes. My instinct is to let the person go and start swinging, like Pirates of the Caribbean when he runs and gets away. Um, I don't know. I'd be a horrible executioner unless it was a spider. Then I could kill it pretty quick.
Yeah. See, I just think that if the intended effect is to make people struggle with their conscience, it's not that type of person that's going to buy this. Like the type of person that's buying this is not the person that's going to be averse to chopping up people in VR. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to want to do, and they're going to enjoy being the evil bastard executioner.
Yeah, well, if the blade and sorcery videos are anything to take a hint from, that's exactly what would happen. That's all you see is people running around slicing people's heads on their sword, right? Yeah, it's weird. It's bizarre, but I'm intrigued a little bit.
NHL 96 is a classic, says Eddie C. Indeed, it is. I used to take Sergei Fedorov and Paul Coffey in that game and dominate. So yeah, good times, good memories. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, how classic would that be if you could play against Eddie C in VR on that?
Yeah, see, I would love all of these EA Sports games if they just came in as 3D versions of the game that they already are. You just play it the same way with the gamepad, and only now it's in 3D. It would be amazing.
I think that's coming. I think it's coming because it shouldn't be that hard to do and to bring in, and it's another way to make money. 3D version, right? The 3D re-release into VR of all the classics as is. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, man, it would be great, and you'd have that presence in the game. And then if you're playing a game like any of them, NHL, NFL, NBA, to have that extra court vision, that extra field vision that's going to come from presence in the game would actually allow you to zone in and key into the game even better than what you can through a screen.
That's
So
true.
yeah,
That's true.
I think
Mepper says that they said about this game here, they sentenced. They said you have to face some sort of consequence if you don't execute someone, but they didn't say what the consequences were, what nature. So maybe they give you like gruel or something, they yell
you'll
at you.
lose favor with the king.
Oh God. Oh no, I got to get my favor back. Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to bring us to wish list, where we ask you to do your part to support these fine developers by doing something that's easy. It's as easy as a click. All you got to do is wish list one of these great games that we talked about on the show today. And, I think it's kind of a no brainer for me this week, Roots. I'm going to go wish list Survive because I think it looks cool.
I was just thinking the same thing. Survive. I always want to say SURV1V3 or Survive.
Well, it's a fitting way to say it because apparently game has been through numerous iterations. So I'm sure we've had V1, V2, V3, V4. This is probably like V25. But yeah, $25 on Steam from Candy Makers, and now a part of my wish list.
It's already on mine. It's already there.
All right. And that brings us to our final reminder this week and every other week. And that is how you can do your part to support our channel and our community. Of course, if you're new to the channel, the best way to show your support is by clicking that big red button down there along with that bell, which will give you notifications. It'll allow you to keep up with all of our videos from our ever expanding library of content here on YouTube. So it's an ever changing schedule. I think we've got a pretty good one now, though. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday/Saturday. Every show has a very defined role and different content, and I like it.
Yeah.
So be sure you click that bell so that you don't miss any of it.
Yeah, stick it to YouTube's algorithm and hit the bell.
Eddie C, great job on modifying the show format. It's a lot more touch and go. Love the pacing. Keep up the good work. Yeah, man, it's a work in progress, especially with regards to the pacing. We're constantly trying to stay on task now, which isn't always going to work. Again, we love the tech, so it's kind of hard not to go off on a tangent at every little thing that comes up. But we're working at it. We're getting better. And as long as we're getting better, then we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions, throw it in the comment. We always forget to say that the comments really do drive the algorithm. So if you just comment in there and you say, Wes, I love your background, Roots, your beard is looking awesome, whatever, try to make it constructive. But if not, then it still helps us. If you want to say, screw you, Roots, I hate you, you're actually helping the show, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? Thumbs up, thumbs down, it all helps.
Yep.
It's all engagement.
Yep.
Of course, for those of you who have been longtime subscribers and want to do a little something extra, you can do so by donating just $3 per month to our Patreon, where you will gain access to our weekly show notes, which are getting better and better every week, as well as the occasional insider update, maybe a gameplay video here and there, and the always awesome money show. So loads of stuff. And again, it's just $3 per month. We do have different tiers on Patreon because Patreon makes you do that. But there is no difference as far as benefits go. The people in the $3 tier get the same thing as if someone was donating $20 per month. Everyone gets the list of perks that I just read off, and that's because we appreciate each and every one who puts down their hard-earned money to try to help us grow and expand. It means a lot, and that's why we're constantly trying to upgrade and give more, give as much as we can to these people that give so much to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't have the money, just sharing, just going to Reddit and posting, hey, they're going live like some people do. I see this all the time for other channels, with some of the people out there, like Gaming Science Teacher is like the champion of some channels out there. We need you to become the new champion for virtual strangers out there, sharing and spreading the love.
Yeah, we need a champion. We need a few champions to take up these various roles, sharing on their social media. I'll tell you who's been a real champ. I think it's Corporate Zombie. Let me make sure that I'm right about this, but he's been time stamping the videos. Roots. Like,
Really?
this is something that we've had a few people pretty regularly ask for.
That's a lot of work.
Which yeah, exactly. You know that I'm already at my limit here when it comes to time to put into this, so I really don't have time to do that most weeks. But Corporate Zombie taking up the mantle, and as he gets in his weekly, uh, you know, view of the episodes, he's just going right along and time stamping it as he goes. So big thanks there. These sorts of things mean a lot. If you can't contribute monetarily, just spreading the word, sharing on social media, putting in timestamps. We're all in this together. This is your community. This is our community, and everyone does their part. So big thanks to everyone who does anything to support and make the experience better for everyone else.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, and I do question your soul on this just a little bit, uh, join the Discord, right? The Discord is where everything happens. It's where Derail's got his hardware talk. He's always, it's funny. I get suggestions from people whisper to me to Wes. Derail's one of them that will be like, hey, we should have a hardware channel. We should have a pancake game channel. And like, these are amazing decisions, right? Like, it's just really creating a great community. And if you haven't joined already, you need to do it and come join us. Come home.
Come on home. That's right. This is the Virtual Strangers Discord home for the VR, the hardcore VR gaming enthusiast. So if that describes you, then this is your home. So come on home. There's an invitation in the description below. And it's the best way. It's the best way not only to hang out with Roots and I and the other prominent members of the community, but it's the best way to network for multiplayer. There's always somebody in there looking to play with friends. So uh, just so you know, if you join, you will always be among friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eddie C says derail is legend. Absolutely, man. I don't know how he does it. He already has his graphics card. He already has his PlayStation 5, but for some reason, he also still has his ear to the ground when it comes to these releases. I don't know how he does it, man. It was completely time consuming when I was trying to find my own stuff. I couldn't imagine, continuing to keep up with all of that.
He's buying and reselling it. He's helping
Right.
us in the same time.
That
Traveling
I
Man
could-
says, well said. $5 throwing a caboose on the train here. We appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. A great show, says Delirium Drew. Guys, I'll see some of y'all on Larceny later. Yeah, Larceny. I think that's a good name for the game, right? Larceny,
That's right.
petty larceny. Anyway, thanks for the support, Traveling Man. Thanks for everyone else who showed up in the chat. I see Chris Richardson and Acid X have shown up. It looks like we've had a pretty good showing here today. And with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye.